Welcome back to Lisa's Family Table. This is our fourth video in our beef tenderloin series. And what are we making today, Russell?
Well, we're making something really special. I mean, you know, it would be something I would make for you or you would make for me. It's a date night special.
Yeah.
Chateaubriand, Valentine's Day. What a lovely deal. Chateaubriand, the very tenderest piece of beef.
What we're also going to do is we're serving this with a Bearnaise sauce, which we're going to show you to make. I've showed you how to do it in a blender, but I'm going to show you how to do it by hand. And our Provincial tomatoes, which is a roasted tomato with breadcrumbs in it. And this is something that you would see in a high-end steakhouse if you go there. And it's a great addition to a dish that's typically pretty heavy but delicious. And it's a great way to lighten it up. So what we've done is we've taken 4 tomatoes, okay, and we've cut them across the perimeter. And I've removed the seeds with a spoon. That's all I've done. We're gonna cook the tomatoes, we'll put the breadcrumbs on them and cook them while our meat is resting. So we're gonna put some olive oil in a pan, get it hot, and we're gonna put a little salt and pepper on each of these. So we're gonna go cut side down. You can do this with your hands. And we're just looking to get them a little bit tender, because when they go in the oven, it's only 5 minutes. That's all we're looking for, just for the breadcrumbs to get tender. And the reason you take the seeds out is number one, so you have more room for the breadcrumbs to go, but you're also releasing some of the water that's naturally part of the tomato. Okay, so that's what we're doing here. Okay, turn that off. Tomatoes go in. Some of the skins are starting to crack. They're perfect. They're not mushy. We've got room for the breadcrumbs to go in. And then we'll give them a good browning on the top. I'm just gonna set this over here and let that rest. And I'm gonna take this pan and remove it so I can bring my cast iron skillet over. Similar to how we did our crostini recipe, we're gonna do some butter basting of the meat. We've got some thyme, we've got butter, we've got garlic. We also have a basting spoon here, okay? So we're gonna start off with our Lisa steak rub. And we'll finish it with a little bit of Maldon salt. So I'm just gonna get this nice and hot. I'm gonna put some high smoke point oil. I'm using avocado today. And you want it to, you know, sit in there and get that my artifact, the golden and brown texture on the steak, on the Chateaubriand. So we're gonna just give it a time. It's an expensive piece of meat. We're gonna give it a little love because it deserves it. So let's give it a few minutes on each side. And then we'll do the same process before. Herbs, garlic, baste. This one's gonna go in the oven probably for a good 10 minutes. And we're looking for a 128 temperature. We're going in with a stick of butter because we have a large piece of meat here, right? So in unsalted butter, garlic, thyme. It's gonna pop. It's gonna give you a little popping sound. That's okay. The nice thing about using my steak rub on this too, I think it takes a lot of the thinking out of the dish because it's already a balanced rub. It has everything in it to complement beef. That's why we won the World Steak Championship. Adding the fresh herbs, the additional aromatics here only further, you know, makes the steak and the tenderloin taste delicious. This is going on the rack here on this baking sheet. Right this. Okay. I'm gonna get the thermometer plugged into it, and it's gonna go in. It'll probably take 10 minutes. Stuff our tomatoes. I'm gonna let Russell do that as I make the Bearnaise. So one of the things that I did earlier is I melted the butter. It still has a little bit of milk fat in it. I wanna skim that off. The reason I wanna skim that off is because the sauce will not fully come together if it's mixed with the milk fat. I've made the mistake too many times, so I know better than to do it. So I'm gonna skim some of the milk fat off. This is called clarifying the butter. If you've gone to a seafood restaurant and they call it drawn butter, that's what this is. Okay, so we've got our 2 egg yolks here. I'm just gonna whisk them to get a little volume in them. So part of the Bearnaise is you have to make a mixture of wine and wine vinegar. I'm using a white wine, a dry white wine, and I'm using some champagne vinegar and tarragon. Those are key to this particular dish. So we're gonna put our wine in. Exact measurements will be below. Our champagne vinegar. We're looking for this to reduce almost to nothing. Now, we're gonna do some tarragon that we're gonna chop up. Some we're gonna save for after the dish is ready, and some's gonna go into this mixture here. We wanna cut it up. We're gonna put a little bit of it in here, just a little bit, just to give it that aromatics. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. This is coming up. I'm gonna put some shallots in here. Oops, hot, hot, hot. Shallots. Okay. And so our goal is to get this almost dry, mix it in with our egg mixture, and then Russell will help me drizzle in the butter a little at a time until we create the emulsification. Our tomatoes are ready to go in. Russell has them ready. So you can see in here that the vinegar and the wine is nearly gone. Okay, so we're gonna drizzle this into the egg. We have to be careful. We're gonna temper it a little at a time so we don't scramble the eggs, but we want to add the flavoring to them. And I probably won't put all the pieces of shallot in there. I'm gonna put some to add the flavor, but I don't want all of it. I'm gonna put a little butter in. Similar to mayonnaise, you have to drizzle a little at a time. Until you get the emulsification. But you can see it's coming together beautifully. So before I season it, I want to taste it, all right? Clean spoon. It's delicious. It definitely needs seasoning though. You can use white pepper on this if you don't want to ruin the color of your sauce. That's entirely appropriate. Definitely need some salt. Sauce is done. I'm going to put the tarragon that I've reserved in it. Again, you can see it gives it a pretty color. It also adds some freshness. And I can warm this sauce back up as everything comes together. Okay, finally, our special meal is ready. The Bearnaise is perfect. The steak has cooked, it's rested. Perfect.
Wow.
So,
what a finale, huh?
It is a finale to our tenderloin series, right? So to conclude our beef tenderloin finale, the Bearnaise is perfect. Did a little smidge of lemon juice just to thin it out with some water because it sat and it got thick. The tomatoes Provincial are perfect. I went ahead and put some watercress with it just to decorate the dish. I promise you, you've got, this is easily plenty for 4 people plus. This is a great entertainment meal. So from our table to yours, keep cooking.
Enjoy it and keep cooking.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you can get notification of our upcoming videos. We post every Thursday and you won't want to miss a single video.